gonna start. We're gonna start. Let's find our seats. Come on. Come on. Let's go. All right, find your seats. All right, find your seats. Find your seats. I hope you, because Abel or Xavier, can you turn that music down? Or Jake's got it. Never mind. All right, I hope you guys came ready to, number one, just build community. It's important that we get together. It's important that when we rub shoulders with one another, because here's the truth. All of us are in this together. All of us are dealing with the same probably growing pains, the same challenges, whether it's the market, whether it's with your people, whether it's with yourself. So it's important that we do this. There's power in community. So I hope you guys came ready to connect. I challenge you guys, get to know one another, break out of your own office, and then also I hope you guys came ready to learn. So I hope you guys are taking notes because we have a lot of really good lineups on how to develop as a leader and also how to build an epic team. We are really passionate at Legacy at raising up leaders. We're really passionate at developing people. We're really passionate about not just helping people make money, although that's great. There's a lot of people in solar that make great money, but we're passionate about going deeper. I think actually, if you work for Legacy, if you work here in the Valor division and all you have done is make great money, then we've actually failed you. Because we really believe about living a life of you can have it all, right? That, hey, true success is winning in all 4 big areas of our lives, which is faith, family, fitness, finance, right? Faith, just simply believe in something bigger than yourself. You define what that means for you. But live life beyond you. When you make life about others, life gets bigger. When you make it about yourself, life is very small, all right? Family, those people, that could be your husband, your wife, your kids, your best friends. Fitness, it's important that we take care of our body, right? It's important that we have a lifestyle that honors our body because we only got one of it. And I'll tell you this, no amount of money can ever solve if you neglect your body. So it's important that we take care of that. And then finance, that's of course our business. That's of course the money that we're making. And so we believe that you can have it all. And so the purpose of today is to really come together, really learn about leadership development, learn from one another. We are going to break off into workshops where you'll be able to mastermind with your own individual offices. And I'll kind of give you guys some prompts on what exactly it is that we're going to go through. But it's going to be an awesome day. All right? Everyone ready? Yeah? Cool. All right. Hey, first of all, if you're San Diego, where are you at? Let's go. All right. Taylor Armstrong is like, yeah, let's go. Cool. All right. If you're Avalon, where are you at? Let's go. All right, come on, guys. We got to get a little more energetic. If you're Vista, where are you at? Let's go, Vista. All right, Sunrise. The one and only. Hey, let's go. Pioneer Town, where are you at? Okay, IE, where are you at? Let's go. Let's go. Hey, who is it? Yes. It's all right. It's all right. It's a little hot. It's a little hot. It's okay. Let's just make sure we keep the doors closed.
Hey, there's an ice bath out there, Jake.
There is. There is. Yeah, I got the good spot. The fan's right in front of me. So, and then I think the vent's right there. So, Tyler, yeah, you did good. You did good. All right, guys. Like I said, we have a great lineup of speakers. I'll be up here for the next 15 or so minutes. And really what I want to come up here and talk more or less about the vision of what Valor DNA is. I really believe in this quote. This is a quote I heard when I first started. Let me grab my gum. Let me put it right here. Thank you. So this is a quote that I heard when I first started in entrepreneurship back in 2011. And it was a quote that really stuck with me. I'm a huge advocate of Jim Rohn. I think he's one of the best really business leaders out there. And he said this quote, service to many leads to greatness. And I really do believe that. I really do believe that when you make life about others, your life becomes bigger. And if you're in this room, that's because you're identified as a leader. Now, understand this, leadership is not a title, right? There are people that have no titles that have more influence probably in your own office than the ones with titles. So understand leadership is not a title. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that just because you're an assistant manager, a manager, a regional director, that means you have influence, okay? Hopefully it does mean that, but it doesn't automatically mean it. Again, there are people in your office right now probably that have more influence than even some of you guys in here. And so understand that when we learn to serve one another, that's when you gain influence. So this is a quote that stuck with me. Another quote by Tom Peters says, leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. And if you're in this room, the goal of it is that you learn the art of how to create more leaders, or how to create more people that are self-sufficient, people that don't necessarily need you, right? I think one of the best metrics of a leader is, does the person you're raising up, do they do better than you? Sometimes we can let our ego get in the way and think that's a bad thing. That's actually a great thing. If you can raise up somebody that actually goes on and does better than you, that's actually amazing. Who here has kids? Okay? Do you guys want your kids to do better in life than you?
Hell yeah.
Do you feel a sense of shame in that? Do you feel a sense of like, oh, like that makes me feel less than? No, what you want your kids, that when they become your age, you want them to be further in life than you. Right? That if you became a millionaire at 35, you want them to do it by 25, right? Or that if you maybe gained this certain level of knowledge at 40, you want them to do it at 20. And so it's the same thing when we're leading people, right? You want your people to do better than you. That's a great thing. And this is the key focus, is you want to create more leaders, not followers. If all you have is people that just follow you, then you're failing as a leader. And if you're in this room again, the key focus is that you create leaders, okay? So here's a question. What makes a great leader great? I did training on this like 2 years ago. Some of you guys may already know the answer. If you do, don't ruin it for the rest of us. But there actually isn't necessarily a right or wrong answer. But what makes a great leader great? Just shoot off some answers. What makes a great leader great?
Getting vision.
Getting vision, great. Leading from the front. Duplication. Great student. It's a great one. Cool. Great follower. Yeah. You can't be a great leader until you learn how to follow. What else?
You put others before yourself.
Put others before you. Cool. Servant-minded.
Open-minded.
What? Open-minded. Great.
I think great leaders are empathetic.
Okay. Empathetic. These are all great answers, and they're all right? There isn't necessarily one answer that's right and wrong. These are all great answers. What I want to share with you guys is a different perspective, okay? What makes a great leader great is they have a context from where to lead. Okay? A leader understands that leadership is messy. We're dealing with people. People are messy. Everyone's different. Everyone in this room has had different upbringings. Some of us were probably raised in poverty. Some of us were raised in maybe a rich family. Some of us were raised with present parents. Some of us were raised with not present parents. Some of us went to a public school. Some of us went to a private school. Some of us maybe experienced some type of hate or call it racism in our lives. Other ones didn't, right? All of us in this room have had different upbringings. And when you lead people, you have to understand that everyone needs to be led differently. If you try to lead people the same exact way, you're going to get it right for some people, but then get it right for others. So a great leader, they have a context from where to lead. I want to give you as an example. Anyone know who this man is? Okay. Oh, obviously the name's right there. Anyone know who he is, though? Governor of New York. Okay. Yeah, Trump support. Okay, I want to show you guys a story, okay? This was 9/11, okay? We're about to enter our anniversary of 9/11. And so let me share with you guys a story, okay, about that answer. So prior to 9/11 happening, right, September 11, 2001, okay, prior to September, for like the last few months leading up to that event, Rudy Giuliani was the mayor of New York. Okay, and people described him as a very brash, a very kind of like call it anal type of mayor, right? He wasn't the most fun person to work with. He was very direct, very kind of blunt. There was you didn't want to get on the wrong side. He wasn't the most ideal person to work with. He wasn't a fun person. He kind of led with the stick all the time. And so there was actually a petition going around in New York to get him removed as mayor, because his team didn't like him. They were like, dude, we can't work with this guy. He's mean. He doesn't listen to anybody else. It's always his way, and there's no collaboration. So there was actually a petition going around to try to get him removed from office, right? Well, then September 11th happened. We can all agree that September 11th, there was a lot of chaos. Right? There was a lot of dismay. There was a lot of anguish, a lot of anger, a lot of people were looking to what do we do? And Mayor Rudy Giuliani stepped in, and being the leader that he was very quick to tell people what to do. Because in a moment of chaos, in a moment of crisis, if you're the leader, You're not necessarily getting people together and saying like, all right, Zyra, all right, Haley, so what should we do? Let's collaborate, right? In that moment of chaos, they needed a leader that was quick, that was decisive, that did not care if you hurt someone's feelings, right? He didn't care if I was like, Mike, I need you to go to the fire station and stay there until I say so, right? And this is not negotiation. You're not like, well, I don't feel like it. I got to go home with my family. 9/11 was a time of crisis. And Mayor Rudy Giuliani stepped in and essentially was the leader that New York needed. Days later, weeks later, he was recognized as a hero of New York. Now, here's the crazy part. Months leading up to it, he was being recognized as a bad leader. Now, did Mayor Rudy Giuliani change the way he led pre-9/11 or post-9/11? But yet, he's being recognized as a hero for what happened 9/11. But before that, he was recognized as a really bad leader. What changed? The situation. The context changed. That's all that changed. He didn't change. The context changed. When 9/11 happened, you needed a Mayor Rudy Giuliani. You needed that type of leader. You needed a leader that was like, I'm not here to collaborate. I'm not here to like do as I say. Because in these moments, seconds mattered. People's lives were at stake. You needed a leader in that moment that was decisive and that was quick. And that's why he was recognized as a hero. But isn't it interesting? All that changed was the context. Before it, they wanted collaboration. They wanted to be heard, right? They wanted people to feel empowered. During 9/11, it was a complete different situation. So all that changed was the context. So a great leader understands that they understand, okay, I need to lead from whatever context I'm in. And what I've realized is all of us in here, if we're in the people business, if we're in the leadership business, there are two main people we're going to deal with. Okay, two main ones, right? Now we can get kind of more smaller, but I'm going to mainly talk about the two main people that you're going to deal with. The brand new rep, who's dealt with a brand new rep. Okay, all of us, hopefully, right? A brand new rep, and then what I call a technical master. Essentially, these are the people that are self-sufficient. These are the people that, cool, they know how to close, right? They know how to go out there and knock. They know the pitch, okay? And we have to understand that how we lead this person is completely different than how we lead this person, all right? The brand new rep, these are some of the things that they need. And it can be easy for us to forget what it's like to be a new rep. I have to remind myself what it was like to be a new rep. Being in this game for 8 years, sometimes I forget that a brand new rep needs a lot of patience. And it can be easy for us to be like, oh, it's their fault. Oh, it's been 30 days. They didn't work. And we forget that a brand new rep needs time. A brand new rep needs a lot of patience and a lot of grace. Because most of the new people probably came from a W-2 job. They came from a job where maybe they never made more than $5,000 a month. So they need a lot of time. They need a lot of patience. They also need a lot of encouragement. Okay? Sometimes, we're guilty of like, oh, they need to be self-starters because you're a self-starter. Everyone in this room is a self-starter, right? I don't think anyone in here, like, we don't need to tell you to go knock. We don't need to encourage you. If you're in this room, you are a self-starter. Your brand new rep usually isn't. Now, if you get that person, awesome. But I would say most of them aren't. So they need encouragement, right? You need to encourage them. You need to say, like, you got this, right? If you knock with them, you need to be the one that's like, dude, it's all right. The next door's it. The next door's it. The next door's it. You need to encourage them. You need to train them on how to speak life over themselves. Most people don't know that. Most people speak negativity over themselves. So they need encouragement. They need a lot of training. Lots of training. Not just door approach training, guys. Sometimes this is where we get it wrong. We only teach them the doors, right? Teach them how to read a utility bill really effectively, right? Teach them some of the basics of how solar works. Sometimes you kind of got to take them through a close. Sometimes you got to close them like they're a client. Because sometimes even they're wondering, like, am I scamming people? Like, how does this really work? Like, I don't get it. I can make 10 grand, but it costs the homeowner no money. Like, they don't understand like the big picture, the fact that there's a big contract value that we're selling. So they need a lot of training. Something that I know I've seen some of you guys do is you'll do a little mini boot camp with them. That's great, right? We have a big boot camp that we do, but don't let that be enough. Do one-on-one training with them, right? Or do a corporate training. Do like, maybe a group of 5 or a group of 10. But new guys need a lot of training, okay? They need a lot of structure. This is another one. We got to remember that a lot of the new people that we bring on board, they're coming from a W-2 mindset. Where in a W-2 mindset, they're told what to do, they're told when to do it, and they're told how to do it. Okay? They're used to that. They're not like entrepreneurs yet, right? And sometimes we think they need to be like us. They're not there yet, but they will be one day. So they need a lot of structure. You need to tell them when to work, right? Where to be at, what area to assign them. Do not let them assign their own area, right? You need to say, hey, this is the area you're going to work. Because if you let them do it, they're going to get analysis paralysis. If you let them pick every single time when they're knocking, how long they're knocking for, where they're knocking, they get analysis paralysis and they don't make a decision. And then they spend 2 hours just simply deciding where to knock. So we need to give them structure. And then the last one is we got to make it fun. Right? I don't think anyone does fun better than I've seen Jake Ransom. I don't know where he's at, but I've seen him do fun on the doors, and he's like, he makes knocking fun. Let's make knocking fun, right? When we're teaching new guys, we got to make it fun. We got to make correlations fun, right? We got to do things like beach days, right? Like we got to do things like, hey, let's just come over and have a barbecue at our place. You got to find ways to also make it fun for the new reps because knocking doors for them can be daunting. And I know for us, we're kind of used to it. Some of us are probably numb to it because we've done it for so long. But to a brand new rep, it might be daunting. So you got to make it fun. The second one, technical masters. So these are your people that are already closers. They know how to close, right? They maybe have 20, 30, 40 installs already under their belt, right? These are guys that are pretty self-sufficient. These are also you guys, right? This is me. This is all of us in this room. All of us, if you're in this room, you're a technical master. You know how to close, you know how to knock, right? No one needs to teach you how to overcome objections. Hopefully, if you do, then you're probably in the wrong room. But everyone in here is a technical master. So these people, they need incentives, right? Because these people will work hard for a shirt. These people will work hard for a trip to Catalina Island, right? For San Diego, right? They won the cup, right? These people will work hard for that. Responsibility, this is a big one. This is a big one. Delegate. Give them responsibility. Something as simple as, hey, can you show up to correlation 15 minutes prior and just like make sure there's music? Hey, can you just be here 15 minutes prior to greet people? Give them responsibility. People will surprise you when you give them responsibility. And it can be hard. All of us in here are probably like perfectionists. We need to feel like we're in control because we think we do it best. What I've discovered is as long as somebody can do it 80% as good as you, delegate it. 80%, that's it. If they can do it at least 80% as good as you, delegate it. Give them responsibility. People feel empowered. These guys feel empowered when they have responsibility. Who here hates it when they have responsibility? Nobody, right? Like you feel empowered. You feel like, wow, like you can do more when you have responsibility. So find ways to give them responsibility. Okay? It can be also like, hey, there's this new guy. I want you to take him on the doors for just one day. Cool. Give them responsibility. Okay? And then the last one, which is the most important, is vision. There's a verse in the Bible, without vision, the people perish. And it's so true. You have to give your people vision. You have to let them know what their next step is. If someone's a closer, they need to know, where am I going? Because remember, if they're just going through it and they're just closing deals and they're like, well, I don't know what my next step looks like, they're eventually going to get washed out. Everyone needs to have vision. So it can be from like a setter to a closer, right? If a setter is a technical master or schedulers, I know Avalon calls something different, right? If they're like an experienced setter, great. They need to have vision of what's next for them. Because if people don't feel like they're progressing, this is just basic human psychology. If people don't feel like they're progressing, they will eventually start looking somewhere else. We as humans, we're wired to want to grow. And part of Valor DNA is understanding that Valor DNA exists so that we can give people a pathway on how to grow, all right? So the key here is that we as leaders need to know where our people are at. And remember, go back to Mayor Rudy Giuliani, everybody is different. Right now, if you lead one person, 2 people, 4 people, if you're leading none right now, but you hope to, then great. Then you need to know that, hey, where is this person at right now in their journey? And then lead from that place. Because it can be easy for us to lead from where we're at, right? Everyone in here, again, self-starters, they have structure, so then we sometimes go like, well, you should just know what to do. Without forgetting that once upon a time, we were a new rep, and we were not like that. Unless you're Mike Brand. Mike Brand just came into the industry already a goat, so no. But so we need to know that, okay? And so in order for us to know from where to lead, this is the curriculum of Valor DNA, right? I share that initial message because I want you guys to know the why of Valor DNA, okay? It's to really help us understand the art of leadership development. And it's a very awesome skill set that I believe whether you do it in solar or not, has the ability to make you a lot of money. We're all in this job to get ahead in life, not just to pay bills, not just to live decent. Like, I hope you're in this job to really get ahead in life, right? To use it, to go buy real estate, go buy other businesses. And I hope that in the next 30 years, some of us in here are billionaires, right? Like that's the goal. But I also know that if you want to achieve that level of success, you need to understand, you need to know how to lead people, right? Leading yourself is one thing, leading others is a completely different ballgame. And so this is what we're going to focus on for really the rest of the day. We're going to hear from different speakers on, what we believe are the traits of a successful organization. Okay, so we have 6 different offices representing here today. And what I've discovered is that if collectively the office, the leadership team, which is, again, right, if you're San Diego, the core leadership team is, of course, the managers plus the people in Valor Dna. Same with Avalon, same with Vista, et cetera, et cetera. And collectively, we got to make sure that we have all 7 of these, okay? Because one person in your team might need vision. Great, give them vision. You better know how to speak vision. But another person on your team might need culture, right? They might need fun. They might need incentives. Go do that. Somebody else on your team, okay, might need to know how to be trained effectively. I've seen some guys that are killer salespeople, but do not know for the life of them why they're good, or they can't explain why they're good. They can. They're horrible trainers. But then I've seen some guys that are like mid-level performers, but they are phenomenal at explaining how to get a bill, how to sell or how to close a deal, how to speak on pipeline management. So it's important that, we have this. And right now, I want you guys to focus on your own offices. And I want you to think, okay, which ones am I strong at? Which ones can I grow in? And then maybe even think about it from an office standpoint. Okay, right now, which one is our offices really strong at and which ones can our offices really need? And that's what the purpose of this workshop will be, is for us to or for your individual offices to come together and really mastermind on some ideas to implement to really grow in all 7 of these, okay? And then to kind of close it up, guys, this is our progression path, because I want to give you guys a vision as well on how to progress here at Legacy Power, right? We have a crazy vision of 10,000 people. I know that's an insane vision. It might take a decade to do it, but hey, that's vision that for all of us in here, is to go out there and raise 10,000 men and women of valor. And if you're new, I know the Avalon team's new. I'm gonna have Dane come up here after me to kind of introduce you guys. But if you're new, I want you guys to know what valor means. The definition of valor is having courage in the face of adversity. That's what having valor means. Okay, it's a military term sometimes. And knocking doors, you got to have courage. Leading people, you got to have courage, right? You're going to face adversities, you're going to face challenges. And I want you guys to know that's why we're called Valor. That's why it's the Valor division, right? We have the Legacy umbrella, but then specifically we have the Valor division. And then within that, you have regions, you have offices. But what Valor is meant to represent is us becoming that, us becoming a man or a woman that has courage in the face of adversities, that can do hard things, okay? Because if we want to achieve the greatest joy, the greatest success in life, we have to be men and women that get excited when we do hard things, right? That recognize, okay, hard things actually grow us, actually make us better. So there's the progression path. We won't go super deep into it, but this is just to give you an idea. If right now you're not yet, let's say, a manager, whether it's an assistant manager or district manager, right? These are the metrics you got to hit, right? It's all based on your own ability to go sell, but also your own ability to raise a team, right? To duplicate yourself into others. I believe true faithfulness is duplication. If you're really faithful with something, you multiply what's been given to you, right? You want to multiply more of yous into other people. And I believe that's what true faithfulness is. So we want to ensure that people understand these are the metrics, right? Because again, if you're a leader, the metric is how many more leaders are you producing? And of course, how many installs are you getting, right? That's the name of the game for all of us. So that's why it's also install based. So this is I want to make sure everyone's aware of that. And with that, guys, that's kind of my piece.